To our partners and allies at the U.S. National Drone Association, happy one-year-old birthday. The USNDA was founded last year by a small group of Marines doing what Marines have done best for the last 250 years and will continue to do for the next 250. Do more with less. But last year, doing more with less wasn't the problem set. It was doing more with nothing, no drones. And when you have to do more with nothing, you have to reach deep into the Lance Corporal Mafia handbook and get creative. So the USNDA was created, and just like the Marine Corps, the USNDA is only as strong as the strength of our relationships with our partners and allies, and we went to work building those relationships across the services with our fellow airmen, sailors, and soldiers to rapidly and violently advance America's drone dominance. In 2026, we will continue to strengthen those relationships. We will work tirelessly to sidestep bureaucracy that has previously hindered America's fighting force to be at its finest. Working together, warfighter by warfighter, fire team by fire team, squad by squad, platoon by platoon, until we meet senior Pentagon leadership in the middle of the fray, committed to working together to solve this big, complex issue of drone warfare. When the storm breaks, and it will, America will say what it has always said, send in the Marines. And by God's grace, we will be ready to say in return, we've brought some friends with us. Marines, airmen, soldiers, and sailors prepared to deliver our adversaries' longest day, their worst day, and their last day. Drones may be the new frontier of modern warfare, but the spirit and legacy of American warriors is still young, enduring, and prepared for the next evolution of combat. We went from crawl to walk at the September Drone Crucible, pulling in partners from every branch of America's military, Marines, Rangers, Navy SEALs, and Air Force EOD, to compete in a drone crucible and learn from each other so that they can build the future of America's drone dominance. The USNDA, in partnership with US SOCOM, built the Drone Crucible to do one thing: accelerate innovation through competition. We were committed to making the battlefield a classroom. Failure isn't final. It's feedback that matters and makes us all better. Fail here so we don't fail in the field. Each challenge pushed the teams to their limits. CQB clearance, ISR intercepts, sniper interdiction, convoy attacks, long-range precision strikes, night operations. The Crucible didn't crown a perfect pilot or drone. It demonstrated America's enduring mindset: adapt, improvise, iterate. Learn from what does not work so that we can improve it in the future.
We need to say, what is the scenario and what tools are we going to use in order to solve that problem? And what we're seeing is a lot of the other guys have gear that we don't have that is working way more effectively. And then we might have some tactics that they don't have that's working way more effectively. So the biggest thing we're seeing is we need to get the gear in the guys' hands in order for them to start training, trying things, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then we'll be able to share that knowledge with everyone and move us forward.
Roger, moving to room 2.
They hold security, they put the drone in the room. The drone then searches and assesses much like a human would, goes around the room, identifies threats, or clears dead space, which the operator from the door cannot see or affect with his weapon system. If it's armed and kinetic, the operators then have the ability to engage that threat with the drone, again, mitigating the possibility of them exposing themselves to a hazard or a threat.
Once everything is cleared by drones, we'll send in the assault force and then clear and then back clear.
What this is simulating is an enemy or unknown ISR asset flying above them that they have to either physically take out or take out with an explosive device attached to their drone.
For one, when you're using the FPV, it's pretty difficult to see the bird in there. Once you're able to get a good visual on it with the FPV system, it's a lot easier to track and then go in for that strike.
But you're seeing capabilities that add a level of lethality that when you look at it, you say, this is beautiful. They're relatively cheap. Drones that most of the strikes have been conducted with over the last couple of days are less than $4,000. They'll go out to 12, 13 miles.
Leadership needs to know that drones are bullets. They are expendable resources. We might lose a $4,000 drone. It's okay. Allow the guys to buy the next one. Allow them to keep trying. If they don't get a chance to test here and test like it's a real scenario, they will never be prepared for what the future is coming.
FPV going up.
Letting them do what they know they're going to have to do on the battlefield here to perfect it, to train and fix it, then go back to their bases and station and say, I've done this here, here's what I did, now we need to do it here.
Critique the other teams. If you ask the hard question. We have not created answers here, we have created questions that we all need to go think about.
We had limited visibility, obviously. We had limited camera options for our self-funded tool. As we went out, we proceeded down the runway to the north, and we were looking for a single vehicle in the open patrolling the area. As we approached it, we maintained a low cover so that we were getting closer to the runway and could see the target. As we started scanning the road, eventually saw headlights in the area. We maneuvered, positioned ourselves in an area to strike, called up the command, and got the approval to clear. That drone is, again, a home build. This is not a military cost production, so it has an IR filter removed, and underneath it has an IR light attached to give it a flood, so we have a flying IR flashlight in the light. That's why we got to stay low to the ground, because the visibility outside of that flashlight range is very minimal, so we're going to hug the ground.
What I just got back from was seeing a Ranger, SEAL, and Marine doing the first ever live kinetic strike together as an integrated package in America. On the final day, the team staged a full exercise to take the airfield, live before distinguished visitors and senior leaders. Operators, engineers, and drones moved as one, securing objectives, neutralizing threats, proving that innovation and discipline can coexist. It was a glimpse of the future, live, loud, and undeniable.
And you know, industry who's here observing, they need to look at the warfighter who's doing it on the battlefield here, simulated battlefield, but with live fire. They need to look and say, there's a warrior, he has a tool, she has a tool, this is what they're trying to accomplish with that tool. What can I do as industry to make that job quicker, easier, more affordable? That's what industry needs to hear.
Yeah, the biggest drone problem right now is we don't have any. We can't train on them, we can't learn, we can't develop our tactics. The biggest challenge that I've seen is just the procurement of them. We need to get them in the guys' hands, we need to start using them, and then if we only have one of them, can't really train because we're scared to lose it.
We need the drones for training, we need the areas for training, particularly in the Air Force. Most Air Force units are on an Air Force base. Most Air Force bases are airfields. Trying to fly on an airfield is a nightmare. So finding us facilities, finding us a way to facilitate that training, whether it's writing a memo that we can fly in a hangar, whether that's writing a memo that says, hey, you can fly during these hours. And being able to accomplish that is going to be the absolute key, because proficiency on the sticks, from what we've seen this week, is the absolute best and most deadly, lethal, and effective thing you can have.
These weren't complaints. They were gentle warfighter corrections that we must have to be drone dominant as a country.
Saying I might buy a $4,000 drone and it within 2 days may break. That's a data point, that's a learning point. It needs to be not stigmatized as a negative. Every time we take these incremental step forwards, especially in loss, we need to be able to learn from our failures, therefore we can achieve greater successes.
Because every broken rotor, every lost signal, expensive equipment, every crash carries a message. The mission deserves better, and lives are on the line.
I am personally invested in this because I spent 6 years as an infantryman. My first deployment was in 2005, clearing cities in northern Iraq. I would give anything to have a drone with a payload to get some of my friends back.
And here, in these drone crucibles, those lessons are already shaping the next generation of drones, tactics, and doctrine.
We finally have something at a price point where I would feel comfortable looking at the American taxpayer saying, hey, we lost this $1,700 drone. I don't know where it is, because I told the Marines, fly it as hard as you can 17 kilometers away so we can figure out the capabilities and limitations, so when we have to protect you, we know what the heck we're doing.
The first drone crucible is just the beginning. What started here between operators, vendors, and innovators will continue to send shockwaves across every service branch, every mission, and every fight, making America drone dominant. And the National Drone Association is committed to the fight. It is an honor to serve alongside each and every one of you. Happy first birthday.